Hola, necesitas sacar el paquete de gramática porque ahora vamos a tomar apuntes sobre algunos verbos irregulares en el pretérito. Hopefully you'll recall that we use el pretérito to talk about events that happened in the past. Remember, these are our regular preterite endings. Over here, we have our endings for AR verbs, and over here, we have our endings for ER and IR verbs. But those are the endings we use when a verb is regular. Unfortunately, we are actually going to have a good amount of irregular verbs in the preterite tense. And today, we're going to learn some of the major ones. The verbs estar, poder, poner, saber, and tener are irregular in the preterite tense. To form the preterite of these verbs, you must change their stems and add irregular preterite endings. So these 5 verbs are like super irregular. They're going to have irregular stems that might not even look anything like the infinitive, and they're going to have different endings. So we need to remember that each of these verbs has its own unique irregular stem in the preterite, but luckily these 5 verbs are all going to take the same endings. Let me show you what I mean, so hopefully that will be more clear. First, let's go over these irregular stems. Estar is estuve, poder is pud, poner is pus, saber is soup, and tener is tuve. Now, these 5 irregular stems are going to take on the same endings. Our preterite endings for these 5 irregular verbs are going to be a, iste, o, imos, and ieron. Please note that there are no accents on the above preterite endings. Let's go over individually the pronunciation of these verbs in the preterite. Estar significa to be, yo estuve, tú estuviste, él ella usted estuvo, nosotros nosotras estuvimos, y ellos ellas ustedes estuvieron. Poder, to be able to or can, yo pude, tú pudiste, él ella usted pudo, nosotros nosotras pudimos, y ellos ellas ustedes pudieron. Poner, to put, yo puse, tú pusiste, él ella usted puso, nosotros nosotras pusimos, y ellos ellas ustedes pusieron. Saber, which in the present tense means to know, we're going to learn about in a second that in the preterite tense it can mean to find out. Yo supe, tú supiste, él ella usted supo, nosotros nosotras supimos, y ellos ellas ustedes supieron. Finalmente we have tener, significa to have. Yo tuve, tú tuviste, él ella usted tuvo, nosotros nosotras tuvimos, y ellos ellas ustedes tuvieron. Please note that although these 5 verbs have irregular stems, again, none of the endings have accents. Just as a side note, the verb saber, which in the present tense means to know, like to know information or to know how to do something, it's usually going to have a different meaning in the preterite. In the preterite, it means to find out. For instance, I found out the truth yesterday. Yo supe la verdad ayer. So, make sure you spend some time familiarizing yourselves with these irregular verbs. We will probably be making a foldable in class to help us practice them. But you also need to be responsible and spend time reviewing them so you know them very well. Don't forget to take the Google quiz.